Hello and happy Monday. I hope y'all had a great weekend. I know I did. After our first week of school from Monday through Friday, I was exhausted and I drove down to visit my boyfriend. Isn't that picture there? in Atlanta, and I live in Nashville, so it's about a 4-hour drive, and I was exhausted. Once I got there, I literally slept like the whole weekend, but it was just what I needed, very relaxing and just rejuvenating. So hope y'all had a great weekend as well. So reflection after my first week, the positive is that I had this really great light bulb moment with the kids, and we did this movement learning, which is basically doing vocab, I guess. I mean, you can do it really with anything, but through movements. We did a photosynthesis dance, so I'm teaching science to my 4th graders, and we did I put it on my Instagram, which is a link. It's just Miss Bliss Teaches, so go be sure to follow that. But also so it goes, I can't even think of it right now. Oh yeah, so it starts with the sun and then it has water. You stand up and you go all through, and then you breathe out for carbon dioxide, you spin around, you breathe in oxygen, and then the big finale of sugar, and that's the process of photosynthesis, and they love it. It was so fun, and they just got really involved with it, and so we reviewed that today, but we learned it last week, but it was just random. That was not my plan at all. I just could tell that they were not gonna just sit there and memorize it, even with all the activities we were doing, worksheets. So I was it's the end of the day, it's the last 30 minutes that I teach. So I was all right, let's get up. Let's try to so I just thought on my feet, and it worked out really well, and they really love it. And they all get so excited to do it. They're again. And so it's kind of a reward. So at the end of class, I pick kids that were really paying attention, answering questions, really participating and engaged. And I ask them if they'd like to lead it. And sometimes they say no, but I just ask. I'm hey, you were really great today. If you want to lead it, go ahead. And they sometimes say, oh no, pick another friend. So I did. Another thing that I really liked in a positive of last week was our mindful transition. So we are incorporating social emotional learning, which is whole child learning, into our daily lessons, and we start with that with morning meeting. So Monday's my day, it's Mindful Mondays, and so it's about mindfulness. So last week we did the benefits of being mindful, and then we did a little practice exercise of, I basically just tell them to breathe in through their nose, out through their mouth, deep breaths. And so after specials, which is art, music, PE, after that they come in, they have a bathroom break, and if you don't have to use the restroom, they just put their heads down and they do mindfulness. We have this calming music playing, and we have just noticed it is such a smoother transition to math than just all the chaos that it is during a normal transition, just because that is our only time of the day that we leave the classroom, because we have lunch and recess in the classroom. So yeah, that's the only time we actually leave, and that's the only time it's a big bathroom break, and it's just a good transition, especially after water for after PE and stuff. So that has made a big difference, and they love it. We at the end of it, we get all back together, and I do a sun salutation pose, that one, and they love it. They loved getting into the yoga poses, so I definitely need to learn more of those, but I definitely recommend doing those kind of transitions. So on the not so positive side, things I definitely need to improve upon is still classroom management. I had my support teachers today were really helpful. It's one of them, they're both very experienced. They both have at least 4 years. One has 10, and they gave me a lot of tips, and so that was really helpful. They were all right, I'm not very aware, and that's a lot of my classroom management issues, because I just keep talking when they are. I'm just oh whatever, the ones that want to listen will listen, and I just don't really notice who individually is talking, because I've got 45 kids. It's pretty hard to stop what I'm doing and look around and be so that's my excuse. But I don't need to be making excuses. I need to just realize if I hear talking, I have to stop, gather them all together, and realize that that's the expectation, and I can't just let the little things slide. So it's been an adjustment for me, but I definitely am thankful that she pointed that out. And then another thing that has been a little bit difficult and challenging has been just not feeling I got that light bulb moment in my 5th grade social studies class. I feel it's a lot of lecture. I try to make it fun with Kahoot and Jeopardy and stuff, but I don't know how to make it really engaging. So I just don't feel like it's like sticking. I don't feel like they're really like learning when I'm teaching, which is really frustrating because it's like, I know I'm telling you it, like I've told you it 3 times. I can point to like the point parts in the PowerPoint, and I know it's the end of the day, and I know it's hard to say pay attention all day, but it's like, you still have to learn this stuff, and I'm just struggling in the fact that I feel like, so maybe incorporating that movement learning would be a good idea. So that's something I'm going to try tomorrow with their vocab words, is do a little action for each of their vocab words. So it's agriculture, it's the South moving to industrialization after the Civil War. So agriculture, I'm going to have them like hand picking the crops, and then we're going to move to, and we're going to like sidestep mechanization. So, and that's industrialization. So that is 3 vocabs in 1. And then we do urban and rural. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Maybe like the hustle and bustle of a city, and we can just like hustle and bustle. And then country life, I don't know, maybe like relax. I don't know, I'll get them involved. I think that really helps too, is like having their ideas represented makes them wanna actually participate and do it. But I am a firm believer in the fact that you have to teach something in order to master it. So I definitely worked on making my lessons like drag out more, and definitely like have the time for the students to absorb what I'm teaching instead of just lecturing. So something that I recommend, that I implemented, that makes it go a lot fast, or like a lot slower, and like actually have the time to like the activities and just like have the students participate, is asking questions, and not just saying, all right, who knows this, raise your hand, but saying, all right, you have a minute, 30 seconds, whatever, to talk with your group, which I always do groups of 4, or else it gets like a little bit unmanageable. And I have them just talk and say, all right, now with your group, raise your hand, and they tell me what they discussed, which I've noticed is a big improvement. They actually like have some thought versus just raise their hand and then they say, I pick on them, they're, oh, I don't know. And that is like the most frustrating thing for me. So I definitely think it's just like that. And then giving appropriate amount of time for them to like try on a worksheet. If it's 5 questions, I don't know, 7 minutes. You can also gauge, like walk around, see like, are they going a little slow, or is this confusing? That sort of thing. You know your class better than I do, but that's like a good rule of thumb. And then yeah, just taking like 30 seconds before any question, really. Like even if it's just a raise your hand thing, they say 30 seconds, think on your own, close your head, like close your eyes, put your head on your desk. Just take some time to actually be thoughtful. But this week is testing, and then I am working on what to grade. That's kind of like my things that I've got like looking forward. I haven't graded anything yet. I'm kind of like struggling as to like what I should, because a lot of times like students will just not have done anything the whole class, and I'm like, okay, like I don't want to give them a 0, but it's like went over the answers, like you should have something. But I think a lot of it's like ELL and then IEP, which is like of exceptional learners. So I definitely like want to make sure I'm being fair and like giving them time. It's only the 3rd week of school, so I'm sure I've got lots of time to grade, but that's my goals for the week, is making it like a smooth transition of testing and getting some grades in. But yeah, that is what I'm looking forward to. If you have any tips for me, greatly appreciate that. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for tuning in.